Right. So my nephew, or whatever, was watching a documentary on Star Fox. I recommended it to him. You know what I'm saying? And basically about um, the history of 3D graphics, where it came from on consoles, and that's kind of where it started from. And I remember Star Fox when I was about that came out in '93. I was 13 years old when that came out, so like a lot of things, I was part of the history. You know what I'm saying? Just mentioned all that to him. You know, my uncle was the one that really put me on the gaming and all that. So he had the ColecoVision, the Commodore 6040, and television. I got a chance to play all of that when I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? And Star Fox when I was in junior high school and all of that was the first time of really seeing 3D. You know what I'm saying? And after that, Mario 64. I remember when that first came out. It's the first time anybody had like double thumbsticks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I remember nobody at the time knew how to actually control Mario. You know what I'm saying? It was just such a revolutionary concept, and now you can't even really imagine gaming without the game actually being 3D. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, uh, yeah. So I got all of this stuff down. This the clay generator right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting on 122,000 clay blocks or whatever. So like I said, this is my gateway to making mass producing aluminum or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you just run it through an extractor, macerate it, and then electrolyze it, and you get aluminum dust out of that. You know what I'm saying? Cook it up, you got aluminum. You got to run it through EBF and all that for that. This right here, I'm gonna end up taking out, and I'm gonna talk about this in a minute. Um, yeah, over here with the diesel generation and all of that, I'm sitting on right now 495 buckets. So I'm doing good over here. This is the import and output little module or whatever. So I import the power from these two laser nodes right here. You know what I'm saying? That's coming off of this right here. This laser connector, this golden laser connector, another one at the top. Obviously, this is not running, but it's going to import power in the head, then convert that power RF into EU. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to store it in these battery buffers, just 16 of them. You know what I'm saying? So just finished making a stack of these, good to go. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm converting that EU back down to RF to send back through the laser connectors, laser nodes, and that's going to be connected to whatever machine lines, MV machine lines that I make that have basically just all MV machines, and it's going to be running from there. So right now I'm just AFK and then letting all the crude biodiesel basically just build up onto this right here. So this right here, it works fine, but it's too convoluted for my taste, and there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, there's a few things that I forgot when I designed this. So I had to design this entire system on the roof of it, and I also had to separate all the concrete powder by color. This is my first initial attempt right here. It's mostly right here, large large wooden barrel right here. You know what I'm saying? Basically converts everything into the concrete power into concrete blocks. The problem is that I had a chest here before I had this end chest, and this entire thing was just getting backed up, and because I was producing concrete powder so fast. And in particular, what I didn't account for, which is the reason why this whole design ended up getting convoluted, it still works, but what I didn't account for was all the different colors that the amounts of the different colors. So the main thing that I was getting when I first turned this on, if you look at all these basins, it's all kind of different colored dyes and everything like that. And I didn't want it like this. I wanted everything to be designated for one color. But the problem would have been that I would have to go in and set a bunch of different filters inside of here, and I had already set this up and basically set all the different filters for each individual color. And I was so far into already setting this up and trying to get this actually working right when I rewired it that I just was like, you know what, whatever, just whatever mixes is fine, right? It mattered and it didn't matter. The reason why it mattered is because I was producing too much brown concrete. and that was clogging up that chest that I had up there by the 3x3 multi, treated wood multi or whatever. I was clogging up the chest with nothing but brown concrete, and it wasn't getting to all the other colors that I had, and there was no way to actually like power through all the brown concrete powder to make the actual concrete blocks fast enough to get to all the rest of the colors, because this down here was still producing more concrete, and I didn't know what was what because everything was all mixed in together. So that's why I had to create the system at the top. Now up here, this entire system up here, of course, is self-powered because it has these solar, high pressure solar boilers down here, right? So all of this is all for that. The water right there, the line of solar boilers right there, into fluid cells, and that all of that powers these chemical baths right here. So all you gotta do is put water in here and the concrete powder, and then it's gonna produce that color. Now, of course, short-sightedness again, you know, wins the day or whatever, because I only put 10 here when I should have put 16, and I wasn't thinking it up, and I had all of this all wired up and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's already an issue because I already had all of this stuff wired in already. So that's extra time to break all this down and then reset everything up back up, put all the cards back into the laser nodes. So I was trying to figure out a system to work around that. And the only thing I could come up with is taking the item cards out at the time and inputting two different colors into one. You know what I'm saying? So all of these are set up for two different colors. Now I still had the same issue. You know what I'm saying? Because this was to try to get rid of the bottleneck that was going on with the multi-block. They treated with multi-block down in the bottom, and still had the same issue. You know what I'm saying? One color would come through, and the other color they wasn't getting a chance to process. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to slow down the amount of input into these machines that I had, and I put all these super chests up here. And now it worked its way through most of all this, except for down here. And I still had basically the same issue. You know what I'm saying? Same issue, same problem. And now everything, for whatever reason, works and doesn't work. It's not producing what it's supposed to be producing. You know what I'm saying? It is working, but it's working really slowly. And I think I'm out of power at the top. You know what I'm saying? Even though it shows that I'm not out of power. I don't know, for whatever reason, it stopped working the way it's supposed to be working. Right? So now I got all of these down here. This is the only thing I'm gonna be saving. You know, so I'm gonna take all of these and put them to the side, because what I'm basically saying in a nutshell, that this entire structure basically warrants a redesign. Same thing down here. The only thing I like down here is that I put my name on the side of this box, right? The square farm doesn't actually work, because another oversight that I forgot about is that if I press F3 and I look on the left hand side, I'm actually in a river biome. It kept saying beach. When I get over here, when I get over here, if I would have put this one thing over, now I'm in a river, and you have to be in a river biome for squid to basically spawn. So because of that, I never put the buckets in up here. It didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Even now, it doesn't make any sense. I will have to disconnect this and move it completely to this section right here before anything would start working, before it starts generating squid, which I can technically do. I can just cut and paste it. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm thinking about it, talking my way through everything. You just cut it from this chunk and then paste it to this chunk, and that's easy to do with Direwolf building gadgets. But I kind of don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I could, just to have squid on deck or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm looking at it, it wouldn't be too much of a hassle. Just cut it off from this section right here all the way down, and then I will have to set up the laser nodes again, which I might end up doing. But in order to take this down, I didn't have really a good method. The best method I have is that I would have is in RF Tools with the RF Tools Builder block. which is not available because RF Tools is not in this pack. So the only other way that to take this down, you know what I'm saying, because I plan on repurposing everything. I don't want to break everything down manually and have to do it that way because that's going to take too much time. Um, I can just exchange it. So that's what this is for. I got a Volt here with 103,680 white stained glass blocks. So the plan is just to exchange this entire build for all the glass blocks, which will make this entire build completely 100% glass. And then I could just go in and destroy that. Use the destruction gadget and completely void all the glass blocks that'll give me my empty space back, and that'll remove all the components here and throw it into this vault because it's gonna exchange with every single item that's in the vault. So I can repurpose all of this stuff for later on. I don't know about the item cards that are inside the nodes. These item cards right here, they don't stack actually, but I don't know if it's gonna preserve that or the filters that are inside the pipes. I don't know if those are gonna be lost if I do the exchange, but I'm fine with losing it. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? Now the redesign itself, you know what I'm saying, I had to extend these brackets again. This is another 8 chunks of empty space, and I'm heading down here to the actual redesign. So the concrete thing was pissed me off a lot because, you know, anytime you build any kind of crazy thing, contraption, you want to make sure that everything works. Down here everything does work. It's not wired up properly. And one thing I forgot when I was in the testing world is that you can't run water into these while it's already heating up. They'll explode, you know what I'm saying, which I did that already. But down here, each one of these modules right here are individualized for one color. And that's what I should have did before. The reason why it's so large is because I couldn't stack it in the way that I wanted to stack it. I would have to keep stacking it on top of each other, which presented an issue because the solar boilers need access to sky. You know what I'm saying? Which I ran into before. The issue that I ran into before when I was testing this out. So I had to run it, you know, horizontally. And there's two modules per chunk basically. You know what I'm saying? So I just ran it down. There's 8 down here, and there's another 8 down there. So that's all 16 right there, all 16 colors. The black you can only get from Wither Roses. It's either a Squid Farm or it's Wither Roses. I can get the Wither Roses, but I will have to make another separate GT multi-block and just basically sit around and wait for it because it's like a 2% chance that it'll pop up. But as long as I keep running bone meal into it, it'll pop up. So yeah, none of this is wired up, but this is fully 100% automated when I do wire it up. So I'm gonna back out for a minute, go into the testing world, and showcase what I'm talking about. Alright, so where we at? I need to go. I forgot which direction it's in. Over here. This is it right over here. So the schematic for that module I built over here. This is the original what's the name right here? So this is the original design right here, the original module. And right now This has I have Lily of the Valley back there that's gonna make white dye or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Once it runs through the entire system, this is what I end up with: white concrete. And this basically represents about an hour and a half of running it. You know what I'm saying? So it's about 3,000 concrete per hour. And this is a much better system. You know what I'm saying? The only issue that I had was with the solar boilers. Initially, I only had two sets of three. Then I added two more sets of three when the machines couldn't keep up. You know what I'm saying? So now all of this is good. It's good to go. It's able to keep up. I really don't need the battery box with that many batteries in it, but more power is always good. It doesn't really matter. And it's a nice little compact little design. You know what I'm saying? The only issue will be trying to get in here to try to wire everything up properly for each individual module or whatever. But that's the reason why, I have a undersection where I can get underneath the machine and get in here and wire everything up. And that's basically it. So give it a little. At first, I was gonna have one lever to basically turn on all 16 modules, and then I decided against that once I started putting everything down. I could just turn on one individual color that I want, and then turn off all the rest of the other ones. You know what I'm saying? It makes way more sense. And this is going to be a passive generator of concrete anyway. So when I get ready to actually build the floor, this is what I'm gonna just turn it on for now, wire everything up properly, turn it on, and just leave it chunk loaded, and just go and do what I'm going to do. So by the time I come back, I have enough concrete to actually do a couple of sections of flooring throughout the entire base. And it's a nice little module. You know what I'm saying? At first, I had a couple of issues. You know what I'm saying? And this is basically eight blocks this way, and it's close to 15 or something like this. So it's basically half a chunk. That's the reason why I was able to get two modules inside of one chunk. And that's all I'm really worried about anytime I do my builds is how many of these individual modules can I get inside of one chunk. That's what I do with all my builds. You know what I'm saying? And that's what because I have my design philosophy whenever I do my builds is making my designs modular, so I can expand them. You know what I'm saying? I try to make them as scalable as possible, and this is 100% scalable. You know what I'm saying? But it's scalable horizontally, which I kind of didn't want. I kind of wanted everything inside of one chunk, but that limitation is because of these solar boilers. You know what I'm saying? They need sky access, so I can't cover that up. And I forgot about that, and I actually stacked them. And then I was wondering why the solar boilers on the bottom layer wasn't running. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why. So as with every other system, you know what I'm saying, runs off a double set of small water wheels. You know what I'm saying? Nice little compact system, and works out nice. So next thing after that is getting everything in place, and then it's on to the next mission. So as far as progress is, I did like one of the quest lines for like Falarate dust or something like that, so I can get gallium arsenide dust, and that's basically it. So everything else is just sitting around AFKing and waiting, and yeah, and that's basically it. So the next step for me is another large project, but I don't want to do another large project right now. I kind of want to just work towards progression, automating circuits. I have enough circuits right now in stash, but one thing I was on account for, which kind of stopped me from building a lot of MV machines, was the MV circuits, because you need 3 LV circuits to make one MV circuit. And all that means is that I need to automate LV circuits, that's a whole nother independent system that I have to design. So I'm gonna take a second and design a system for that, because I'm definitely not gonna do that manually. The amount of machines that I actually need And I don't even know what an HV circuit looks like, but I'm pretty sure an HV circuit is gonna require MV circuits. So it would just be in my best interest right now to automate LV circuits. Everything else I was doing manually, but a lot of the stuff I'm gonna have to automate. Um, so let's take a look at the HV circuits. I think is that the basic? Is this the base one? Yeah. So like I thought, this requires MV circuits. MV circuits require LV circuits. These basic integrated circuits are LV tier circuits. So all the rest of this stuff I got is easy to do. The diodes will give me a little bit of a problem, but that's it. Silver bolts, not really an issue, but the silver is an issue. So I need to find another good way to generate a lot of silver. I have a lot of silver right now. From electrolyzing, it's some rock that I was electrolyzing. So I have like maybe 10, 11 stacks of silver. So I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what? I'm not even, that's not even an issue because I can just electrolyze that. I forgot what I was getting it from, but um, but it works out fine. You get a lot of silver off of that. I think it was I forgot what it was, copper, or something like that, raw copper, crushed raw copper, something like that. The basic integrated circuits are not really that hard to make. It's um, it's going to be the latex right here, sticky resin. Charcoal dust is nothing, copper's nothing, paper's nothing. Sticky resin. You know what I'm saying? I need slime football balls for this. So this comes from Slide Take Spores. Uh, this is a thermal expansion thing, but it's a recipe that they bake basically into X Nihilo. So this is how I was getting it initially from mud blocks. So I mean it's not hard to acquire item. It's just gonna require another automation setup. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of burnt out of making automation setups, but I need to automate basically dirt. Automate dirt, and then you run it through a barrel. You know what I'm saying? It had a spout with water on it. You know, squirt water on dirt, you get the mud. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you run the mud through I forgot what you run it through a sifter, and that's how you get the spores. I don't see any other way to do that because I want a way to do that mechanically without and there is no way to do that mechanically, so I have to do it the create way. So this is gonna give me all the spores. I have a ton of them already in the system right now, but I still need to automate that. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother automation setup because I want to make it. You know, all my setups now I want to make them as self-contained as possible. Not hard to do. It's just gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? So I need something else to actually work on. And now that I'm thinking about it, I already have my thing to actually work on, getting rid of this and wiring that up, and maybe moving the squid farm. I'm not so quick to actually destroy it because it did take me time to set this up, especially all of these little gates. That takes time to set up because you got to capture all the water streams. And the most thing I might do is just maybe chop this off from right here, chop it off right here, and then drop it all the way down there like a couple of chunks, so I can get as many squid as possible. And that's really it. I'm glad I didn't just delete it altogether because I'm literally standing in what it told me. No, the river's right here. It starts right here. Is there a chunk for that though? It keeps changing from river, beach to river. So there's still a chance that it's not working because you really technically you need to be in the ocean. You need to be in the ocean or a river biome in order for a squid to spawn. I still can do the wither rose thing. That's also not an issue. But I haven't built that crop greenhouse or whatever yet for it. I have all the components. I just haven't built it yet. I don't know. Let's see how I feel about it. But In the meantime, maybe just work on wiring this up for right now, and maybe see if I could like put in one of the floors and see how that'll be. You know what I'm saying? That's basically just running it through a schematic cannon, just binding the inventory and running it through a schematic cannon, and see what it do.